My first car was a 1968 VW Bug, and that car was one that people told me if I could learn on that one in San Francisco, which is where I grew up in the hills of San Francisco with that stick shift, that you could learn anywhere. And it turns out that that car actually saved my life, because on the day of my senior prom, I was driving that Bug down a very steep, curvy hill in San Francisco, and it was raining too hard, and I was going too fast, and I spun out. And there was the only part of the road where the two guardrails went like this, and literally my car wedged in between the two guardrails. And I'm alive today, honest to God, because of the 68 VW Bug. I loved that car. Of course, I never drove it again because I totaled it. The car I'm most looking forward to seeing at the Auto Expo is the Mustang, because I fell in love with the Mustang convertible when my wife and I were having our first child. We took I guess it's a baby moon, right before we had the child. We went to San Diego and we drove up the Pacific Coast Highway in a Mustang convertible. And ever since then, I've loved Mustangs.
So my first car was part of the greatest day of my life. I didn't have a car in college, and I got out of college, was living with my parents. I guess they were sick of me asking them for rides everywhere, I don't know. So my dad took all these savings bonds that he'd been saving for years, because he worked for the government, would always get one with his paycheck, and he counted them out on the table. I'll never forget. Boom, boom, boom. And I had all this money, and I went to buy a car. It was awesome of them to help me. But apparently I'm the world's worst car buyer, because if it is a good deal, it's really too good to be true. My first car was a 96 Neon. Great price, low mileage, awesome. Hold. I'm not exaggerating when I say at 36,001 miles, it needed its first head gasket. I say first because it needed 3 after that. Then, apparently it'd been a rental car and had been some sort of accident, so the frame was bent. The back tires pointed in, so I needed new tires every 3,000 miles. Then, finally, the crankcase got a crack in it and would leak oil, and I would just blow smoke as I drove down the highway. It was the worst. I got rid of that car with 75,000 miles on it. So it wasn't the greatest car I ever had, but it was a good first car because I learned my lesson. I finally, though, got my dream car just last year. I have always wanted to drive a convertible. I love the feeling of wind in my hair. I'd rather roll down the windows than have on the air conditioning. And I got a 2012 Volkswagen EOS hardtop convertible. It's probably the greatest thing that I've ever had in my life, because, first of all, it has heated seats, and when it's cold out, that's my jam. Let's be serious. I love warm. However, I'll still find an excuse to put the top down no matter when. Doesn't matter to me. It looks like a spaceship when it goes down, dumps in the back of the trunk. It's the best car ever. Gets great gas mileage. It's fun. I love it. Love my EOS. Best decision I ever made.